Bleeding and barefoot, she collapsed at his ranch gate. Samuel Garrett was mending fence wire when he heard it. A sound that didn't belong. Not wind, not cattle. Something else. A cry. Weak. Desperate. He dropped the pliers and turned. That's when he saw her. A young woman stumbling across his property line. Her feet left dark prints in the dust. Blood. Her dress hung in tatters. Her hair was matted with dirt and sweat. She made it 3 more steps before her legs gave out. She fell hard against his gate, hands clutching the wooden post. Samuel ran. By the time he reached her, she'd slid down to the ground, chest heaving with shallow breaths. Her face was a map of suffering. Bruises bloomed purple across her cheekbone. Her lip was split. Scratches ran down her arms, but it was her eyes that stopped him cold. Empty, like she'd already died inside. Samuel knelt beside her, voice low. Easy now. You're safe. Her head lifted. Those hollow eyes found his, and she whispered 4 words. Just kill me fast. Samuel froze. I'm not going to hurt you. She laughed, a broken sound. They all say that. Who did this? She didn't answer, just closed her eyes, trembling. Samuel looked around. His ranch stretched empty, but whoever had done this could still be out there. Can you stand? She shook her head. Then I'm carrying you inside. Get you water, get you safe. Her eyes snapped open, wide with terror. No, they'll find me inside. They always... Listen, I'm 62 years old, got a bad knee and worse eyesight. But I've also got a loaded Winchester and 30 years knowing how to use it. Nobody's touching you on my land. For a long moment, she just stared, searching his face for the lie. She found neither. Okay, she whispered. Samuel slid his arms under her carefully. She weighed almost nothing. He carried her across the yard toward the ranch house. 4 rooms and a sagging porch, but it had walls, a door that locked. Inside, he laid her on the old sofa. He fetched water, poured it into a tin cup. Slow sips. She drank like someone who hadn't seen water in days. When she finished, she looked at him, really looked. Why? Samuel sat back. Because leaving you out there would make me no better than whoever did this. She studied him, then something cracked in her expression. Not trust, but maybe the beginning. My name's Eliza. Samuel. Silence settled. Outside, a crow called. Finally, Samuel spoke. Who did this? Eliza's hands gripped the cup tighter. Men who think they own everything, including people. They have names? Vance. And his brother, Cole. They run the trading post 15 miles south, but they don't just trade goods. Her voice turned bitter. They trade people. Women. Take them, break them, sell them. Samuel's jaw tightened. How'd you get away? I was being transported. Wagon hit a rut. I jumped, ran, kept running until I couldn't. How long ago? 2 days, maybe 3. Samuel stood and walked to the window. The sun was sinking low. 2 days meant they were looking for her. He turned back. You stay here tonight. Rest. Tomorrow we ride into town. Sheriff needs to know. The sheriff won't help. Her voice was flat. Vance owns him. Samuel's hands curled into fists. Then we find someone who will. You don't understand. There's nowhere safe. Maybe. Samuel picked up his rifle and checked the chamber. But they're going to have to come through me first. For the first time, something flickered in Eliza's eyes. Hope. Fragile. But there. Outside, the wind picked up, and somewhere in the distance, hoofbeats drummed against dry earth. Samuel heard them before he saw them. 2 riders coming hard across the plain. Back room. Now, he told Eliza. She didn't argue. Samuel watched as the riders circled his property. One wore a vest too fancy for ranch country. The other had a scar running ear to jaw. They stopped at the gate. Samuel stepped onto the porch, rifle across his chest. Not aimed, not yet. Help you, gentlemen. The thick one smiled, didn't reach his eyes. Name's Vance, looking for something that belongs to us. Young woman, might have come through here. Haven't seen anyone. The scarred one spat. Her tracks lead right to your gate. Prairie's full of tracks. Vance stepped closer. We're prepared to pay for information. Property. Samuel's voice went hard. That what you call a human being? The smile left Vance's face. Careful, old man. Everything on my land is my business. The scarred one's hand drifted toward his belt. Samuel's rifle came up smooth, pointed at Vance's chest. I wouldn't. Nobody moved. Then Vance raised his hands slowly. Easy now. Reasonable men don't hunt women like animals. That girl's a thief. We're collecting what's owed. That's what the law's for. Vance laughed. The law and I have an understanding. Samuel's finger tightened on the trigger. Get off my land. The scarred one went for his gun. Samuel fired. The bullet kicked up dirt between his boots. That's your warning. Next one won't miss. Vance stared at him, then turned and mounted. You just made a mistake. We'll be back. Won't be my first. They rode off, but not far. They stopped at the ridge 200 yards out, watching, waiting. Samuel lowered the rifle and stepped inside. Eliza was pressed against the wall, face white. They're not leaving. No. You should have let them take me. Now they'll kill you. Samuel looked at her, at the bruises, the split lip, the way she held herself like someone used to being hurt. I've been alive 62 years, seen a lot, but I'll be damned if I hand a woman over to men like that. Why? You don't even know me. Don't have to. Some things are just right or wrong. Tears welled in her eyes. We need help, Samuel said. Can't hold them off alone. The sheriff, not the sheriff. Samuel pulled up a loose floorboard and retrieved a bundle. Inside was a badge. Tarnished, old, but real. U.S. Marshal. Retired. But I know a man who still wears one. Lives 2 towns over. Eliza stared. You were a marshal? Long time ago. Then you know what they'll do. That's why we ride tonight. While they watch the house, we slip out back. Canyon Trail, be in Millbrook by dawn. They'll follow. Let them try. If you're still here, hit subscribe. What happens next will show you why one May's stand changes everything. Midnight came cold. Samuel moved through the house checking windows. Eliza sat watching him work. You've done this before. More times than I care to count. Samuel finished and sat across from her. When we ride, we don't stop. You understand? What if they catch us? They won't. But if they do, then I buy you time to keep running. I'm not leaving you. Yes, you are. His voice was firm. I'm an old man with one good fight left. You're young. You get to live. That's the deal. Nobody had ever said anything like that to her. Why do you care? You're a human being who deserves better. That's enough. Before she could respond, hoofbeats cut through the night. Multiple horses, coming fast. Samuel was up instantly. He peered out. 6, maybe more. We waited too long. Back door, now. They slipped out into the prairie night. 30 yards to the barn. 20, 10. A voice rang from the front. Garrett, send her out. They reached the barn. Samuel saddled the horses fast. This one won't spook easy. A crash came from the house. They'd kicked in the door. Ride. They burst from the barn at a gallop. Behind them, shouts erupted. There. Gunfire cracked. Bullets whined past. Samuel leaned low, guiding his mare toward the canyon. Eliza rode beside him. More shots. One found meat. Samuel's mare stumbled, recovered, kept running but slower. She's hit. We have to stop. No, keep riding. They reached the canyon mouth. Walls rising black on either side. Single file now, Eliza first. Behind them, riders gaining ground. Halfway through, Samuel's mare stumbled again. This time she went down hard, throwing Samuel into the rocks. Samuel! Eliza wheeled around. Go! Samuel was up, rifle in hand, blood running from his forehead. I'll hold them. No! Get on! There's no time. Ride for Millbrook. Find Marshal Webb. The riders appeared at the canyon entrance. Samuel took cover and fired. The lead rider dropped. Go! Samuel roared. Eliza hesitated, then dug her heels in and raced deeper into the canyon. Behind her, gunfire echoed like thunder. Samuel dropped another rider, then another, but 3 remained, and Vance was one of them. All this for some girl? Vance called. Samuel reloaded. Better to die for something than live for nothing. Noble. Stupid. Samuel fired. Missed. His ammunition was running low. This was it, his last stand. Not in a comfortable bed, but under the stars with iron in his hand. He thought of Eliza riding toward safety, toward a chance. That was enough. Come on then! But before Vance could respond, new sounds echoed. Hoofbeats from the other direction, multiple riders, then a voice. U.S. Marshal! Throw down your weapons! Relief flooded through Samuel. Marshal Webb had come. Webb rode in with 4 deputies, rifles drawn. Vance! Cole. On the ground. Now. For a moment, Vance's hand hovered near his gun. Samuel stepped from cover. Don't. Guns hit the dirt. Hands went up. Webb's deputies moved in, shackling them fast. The marshal rode up to Samuel. Hell of a night, Sam. Hell of a decade, Tom. Samuel lowered his rifle. How'd you know? Girl rode into town like the devil was chasing her. She's at the doctor's. Won't let anyone touch her till she knows you're alive. Something warm moved through Samuel's chest. She made it. Because of you. Webb studied his friend. That head needs stitches. It'll hold. Vance spoke from where he knelt. That girl's a thief. We have legal papers. Webb's expression went cold. Human beings don't belong to anyone. Those receipts are slavery documents. Hasn't been legal since '65. This is debt repayment. Show me. Vance's eyes shifted. They're at the trading post. Then we'll ride there. And if I find what I think I'm going to find... Webb's hand rested on his sidearm. You'll wish Samuel had finished you. Deputies hauled them to their feet. Webb helped Samuel onto a horse. Can you ride? Just did, didn't I? They made their way through the canyon. Dawn was breaking when they reached Millbrook. Samuel slid from the saddle outside the doctor's office. Webb caught him. Easy. Not that old. Webb pushed open the door. Eliza sat on an examination table. Her head snapped up. Samuel! She jumped down, started toward him, then froze. Samuel closed the distance and pulled her into a gentle hug. She collapsed against him, shaking. I thought, when I heard the shooting, I'm all right. We're both all right. The doctor shooed them to chairs. She cleaned Samuel's wound and stitched it. 15 stitches. He didn't flinch. Webb stood by the window. Found something at Vance's. Ledger, names, dates, sales. At least 20 women. Eliza's hands tightened. Are they still there? Some. We're organizing rescue now. What happens to Vance? Federal trafficking charges. He'll hang. Justice, cold and final. What about Eliza? Samuel asked. Webb looked at her. You're free. No charges, no debts. Free. Eliza tested the word. Just like that. Just like that. Tears came. Not sadness. Relief so profound she couldn't hold it back. Webb pulled Samuel aside. She's got nowhere to go. Samuel knew what Webb was asking. I've got a ranch. Extra room. Could use help with the horses. You sure? Some things are just right or wrong. Webb smiled. When'd you get philosophical? About 62 years ago. As they walked into the morning sun, Eliza looked at Samuel. You meant it? About the ranch? If you want it, no obligations, just a place to be safe. I don't know anything about horses. I can teach you. She looked at him, this man who'd risked everything. Okay, she whispered. 3 months later. Samuel stood at the corral watching Eliza work with the chestnut mare. The horse had been wild. Now she ate from Eliza's hand. Easy, Eliza murmured. Nobody's going to hurt you. The words were for the horse, but Samuel heard the deeper meaning. Eliza had healed, not completely. Some wounds don't close all the way, but her feet no longer bled. The bruises had faded, and the emptiness in her eyes had been replaced by something else. Purpose. She'd started small, feeding chickens, gathering eggs, then the horses. She had a gift with them. Now she rode with confidence, her dark hair tied back. Marshal Webb had kept his word. Vance and his men had hanged. The women they'd trafficked had been freed. The ranch had changed too. Samuel had repaired the gate where he'd first found Eliza. The house didn't feel quite so empty anymore. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Eliza spoke. I've been thinking. About? Why you helped me. It's more than just right and wrong. Samuel was quiet. Lost my wife 7 years ago. Cancer. Lost my daughter before that. Cholera. For a long time, I figured the world was just a place of taking lives, taking hope. He looked at her. Then you collapsed at my gate. And I realized the world isn't just about what gets taken, it's about what we choose to give. I could have looked away. Should have, probably. But then what? I'd have lived, sure, but I wouldn't have been alive. Not really. Eliza's eyes shimmered. You gave me my life back. No, you took it back. I just held the door open. Silence settled. Then Eliza said, I want to stay. Not just till I figure things out. Stay. Samuel felt something warm in his chest. Not romance, something simpler and more profound. Family. Ranch could use the help, he said gruffly. She smiled, a real smile. Thank you. For everything. Don't mention it. No, I'm going to mention it, every day, because you need to hear it. Samuel chuckled. Stubborn. Learned from the best. They sat together as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the prairie in shades of orange and gold. The gate was mended. The horses were fed, the past was still there, but it didn't rule them anymore. Sometimes salvation doesn't look like you expect. Sometimes it's just an old man with a rifle and a conscience. Sometimes it's a gate that marks the line between hell and hope, and sometimes that's enough. So what do we take from this? Maybe that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being terrified and choosing to act anyway. Maybe that one person's stand, even when it seems impossible, can change everything, and maybe that healing doesn't happen alone. It happens when someone refuses to look away. If this story moved you, hit that like button. and subscribe so you don't miss the next tale from the Wild West.